Today, we're going to learn about an amazing French inventor named Antoine Ridier, who is best known for inventing the first ever smoke detector. As a child, he had a strong interest in physics and astronomy. In 1946, he developed a Geiger counter that could be used to detect nuclear radiation from a distance. However, his real passion was designing machines that would make everyday life easier for people. In addition to being a gifted engineer and physicist, he was also an accomplished musician and painter. In the 1950s, he designed and built a machine that could translate spoken languages into written text. He called it the speaking machine. It could translate between French, English, German, and Russian. Unfortunately, this invention was never patented, and there are no records of it existing today. So some people believe that it may have been a hoax or that it was top secret at the time due to the Cold War. Others believe that it did exist but was lost when Radier's workshop burned down in 1972. But what if the speaking machine did exist? How could such a thing even be possible without modern technology like artificial intelligence or machine learning algorithms? We don't know for sure how Radier's machine worked, but it's believed that it used some type of mechanical system to translate speech into text. This is purely speculative, but maybe the machine could recognize different languages based on their sound waves, and then use a series of levers and gears to convert those sound waves into written characters. The machine might have also been able to store different phrases and sentences so that it could accurately translate more complex sentences. It is possible that this machine used punch tape or another type of storage medium to remember the translations. Regardless of how it worked, though, the fact that such a machine was ever built is truly amazing. And I hope that one day we will find more information about it. While working on his many inventions, Radier also held several jobs, including working as a radio engineer and a physics teacher. During this time, he met a woman named Jacqueline Tassett, whom he later married. They had 2 children together, a son named Bernard and a daughter named Marie-Christine. Unfortunately, Radis's wife died in 1968, so he never got to see his children grow up. In addition to his work with the speaking machine, Radis was also interested in finding ways to improve the safety of homes. In the early 1960s, he began experimenting with ways to detect smoke, which can be a deadly hazard in a house fire. His first device was a simple battery-powered box with a light bulb inside. If smoke entered the box through a small hole, it would set off the light bulb, alerting the occupants of the home to the danger. While this invention was certainly effective, it was not very practical because the smoke had to enter the box in order to set off the alarm. This meant that the device would only work if the person was in the same room as the smoke, which is not always the case in a house fire. Not to mention that the device was quite bulky and noticeable, which made it easy for someone to overlook or ignore. In 1963, Radier came up with a much better solution. He invented the world's first ionization smoke detector. This device worked by ionizing the air inside the chamber using a small amount of radioactive material. When smoke particles entered the chamber, they would cause the air to become less ionized. This change in ionization would trigger an alarm. This was a much more effective and efficient way to detect smoke since it didn't require the smoke to actually touch the alarm in order to set it off. Additionally, the device was much smaller and less conspicuous than Radier's previous design, making it more likely to be installed and used properly. Unfortunately, Radier's ionization smoke detector was never patented, and once again, there are no records of it existing today. However, there is evidence that at least one of these devices was built, since Radier showed it to a friend of his named André Chenien, who later described it in detail. Once again, maybe this invention was lost when Radier's workshop burned down, or perhaps it was top secret at the time due to the Cold War. Some people even believe that the CIA stole the idea and gave credit to another inventor named Paul Macrance, who patented a similar device in 1964. But unfortunately, Magris's patent was never approved. And once again, there are no records of any ionization smoke detectors being produced until 1970, when the first commercially available model was released by a company called Teledyne. Coincidentally, Teledyne also bought out the rights to Magris's patent that same year. So maybe there is some truth to the rumor that Magris and Rayer independently invented the same thing. Regardless of who invented the first ionization smoke detector, we can all agree that it was a brilliant invention that has saved countless lives. In 1974, Rieder was awarded the Légion d'honneur, one of the highest orders of merit in France. He continued to invent and experiment until his death in 1993. Now let's take a look at the specifications of this incredible device. The ionization smoke alarm works by ionizing the air molecules inside the alarm using a small amount of radioactive material. When smoke enters the alarm, it disrupts the flow of electricity, triggering an alarm. Here are the detailed specifications of the device. First, let's talk about the power source. The ionization smoke alarm is powered by a 9-volt battery, which provides 10 milliamps of current and 9 volts DC. The alarm itself uses very little power, typically only a few milliwatts. But the 9-volt battery provides enough power to run the device for several years before needing to be replaced. Next, let's look at the dimensions of the device. The ionization smoke alarm is relatively small, measuring just 4 inches in diameter and 1 inch thick. This makes it easy to install and inconspicuous, which is important since it needs to be able to fit in with its surroundings without drawing attention to itself. The weight of the device is also worth noting, coming in at just under 6 ounces. This makes it lightweight enough to be installed on ceilings or walls without the need for additional support. Now let's move on to the materials used to construct the device. The ionization smoke alarm is made from durable plastic that is resistant to fire and smoke damage. This ensures that the device can withstand the harsh conditions of a fire and continue to function properly. The device also contains a small amount of radioactive material, typically americium-241, which is used to ionize the air molecules. However, the amount of radioactive material used is very small, and the device is designed to prevent any leakage or exposure. Finally, let's discuss the operating range of the ionization smoke alarm. The device is able to detect smoke particles from a wide range of distances, making it effective at detecting fires in various stages. However, it is important to note that the device is most effective at detecting smoldering fires rather than flaming fires. This is because the smoke from smoldering fires contains more solid particles, which can trigger the alarm more effectively. Nevertheless, the ionization smoke alarm is still an invaluable tool for early fire detection and can provide crucial seconds to escape a burning building. Overall, the ionization smoke alarm is a remarkable invention that utilizes the principles of physics and engineering to provide essential safety features for homes and buildings. Its small size, durability, and effectiveness make it an ideal choice for smoke detection, and its ability to detect smoldering fires is particularly valuable. The use of radioactive material in the device raises some concerns, but the small amount used and the measures in place to prevent leakage provide a relatively safe means of achieving this functionality. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you learned something new, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.